Good afternoon. I'm Rob McClarty, class coordinator and instructor of police for the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center. Welcome to the graduating ceremony for the 277th Basic Training Class. Members of the Class 277 and those present, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the greatest flag to ever fly on land, at sea, in the air, and in outer space. Please stand. Right face. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Center face. Be seated. During your time here at KLETC, you've all walked past the Wall of Honor numerous times. The Wall of Honor is a reminder of the ultimate sacrifice paid by each of the KLETC graduates memorialized there. At this time, we'll take a moment of silence to honor those 27 KLETC graduates who've given their life in the line of duty. Please join me. Members of the 277, I appreciate each and every one of you. All of your efforts while you've been here at KLETC, your humor, and your decisiveness. I hope you understand what an honor it's been for me to be one of your instructors, your class coordinator, and a mentor. I hope throughout your time here, the other instructors and I have each been able to impart and pass on some insight and information, not only from the curriculum, but from our education, our experience, and our careers. Hopefully, that'll benefit each of you in your careers. In the beginning of your time here at KLETC, you likely arrived and were in some fashion, at least a little bit out of your comfort zone, forced into a unique environment with unknown experiences and challenges that laid ahead for each of you. It's my hope that through those experiences and those challenges that you've come to truly respect and even appreciate your time here at KLETC. The training, experiences, and the knowledge that you've gained while here is truly priceless and will in some form help each of you to be successful in this profession. On behalf of the KLETC administration, instructional and support staff members, we congratulate each and every one of you for completing your basic training. It's a KLETC tradition for the class president to deliver a few brief remarks on behalf of the graduating class. Ladies and gentlemen, the 277th Basic Training Class President, Public Lands Manager, Officer Joshua Westerfield of the Kansas Department of Wildlife, Parks, and Tourism.
Thank you, Rob. I'd be remiss if I didn't start this off by thanking all the instructors and staff here at the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center. I speak for all of us students in the 277th when I say that we're immensely grateful for the hospitality from the cafeteria, maintenance, and custodial staff, as well as all of the instruction and guidance and support we have received from the instructors and administrative staff. I know I speak for all of us when I say that your dedication to improving and furthering this noble profession is truly admirable, and we are all sincerely grateful. I'd like to extend a special thank you to our class coordinator, Rob McClarty. He has worked very hard for us all during this 14 weeks here, and none of us on this stage have any doubt that what he has told us many times is very true. He wants us all to be successful. Paul Harvey concludes in his poem, The Policeman, by saying, "The policeman must be a minister, a social worker, a diplomat, a tough guy, a gentleman, and a genius to raise a family on a policeman's salary." Of course, all of us in here understand that the law enforcement officer is most likely than not the most underpaid and overworked profession in the country today. Not only that, but there exists a certain segment of the population that would like nothing more than to corrode any legitimacy and respect that comes with this job. I could keep everyone here all day talking over finer points of all the fallacies spread against law enforcement and how their ugly roots have taken a hold in our culture, but I digress. You see, regardless of that, there is something about this profession that keeps drawing people like this class sitting here on stage today to it. Regardless of the many demands that Mr. Harvey pointed out, the low pay and the turbulent society, some here may have joined out of a sense of service to their community with a desire to make a difference and a change for better. Others may have taken this job out of a sense of duty to their families in an effort to make the world safer for future generations. And as cheesy as it sounds, some may have taken this job to be the change that they want to see in the world. And none of that's bad, it's all good. But as I thought about all of this, I wondered there's got to be a common thread to all of these reasons, and something that draws so many people from various backgrounds and who would likely have not been friends otherwise together into this brotherhood of law enforcement. I believe that common thread and one of the defining characteristics of those in law enforcement profession is love. And before you roll your eyes and write me off for going soft on you, hear me out. I'm not talking about loving all the people you arrest or work cases on. I'm talking about a love for the things that are true, honest, just, and pure. There are going to be times where the love of your fellow man is going to be necessary. When you're the officer who goes out to a house with a chaplain to notify the family that their son or daughter or husband or wife or father or mother won't be coming home today. When you respond to that missing child call from a frantic mother. When you're the first on scene of a fatality accident, or when you respond to that home that's just been burglarized, or when you respond to her call that her husband's drunk and beating her again. Your actions in those moments can transform lives. Show a little love to those in need of it in those moments. In moments where the bad guy needs put away, I pray that your love for the truth and justice drives you to work tirelessly to build that case and get the job done right. Be uncompromising, pursue those cases hard, and never sacrifice your honor or integrity in doing so. It's my prayer for this class that at the end of a long, successful career, you would all relive your lives. Changing little things here and there, but a life well lived in service of others. John 15:13 says, "Greater love hath no man but to lay down his life for others." You all are laying down your lives for others. I pray not in the way that perhaps many of you may think. I hope that's never the case. But you are doing so by simply putting on this uniform every day. You will go out and have to deal with the worst of society on a daily basis, and that will take its toll. But my challenge to you and my final remarks are this. From Romans 12:9, your love must be sincere, hate what is evil, love what is good. Thank you. As a class, we had to do a legacy project for our time here. And as is common with a group of this size, we had a hard time agreeing on any one certain thing until the idea of doing something for the custodial maintenance and cafeteria staff was proposed. Everybody here was totally on board with the idea, as we all agreed that they do a tremendous job for us, and our time here would not be nearly as bearable if it wasn't for the work that they do. Whether it be cleaning our dorm rooms and bathroom, keeping up the facilities, and keeping them running for us, or just serving our food with a smile on their faces. So we decided that our project would simply be an appreciation meal for them. Everyone in the class graciously donated money towards treating them to a nice meal. And although they may not be in the classroom teaching us or in the front office, getting us enrolled and dealing with any other issues that may arise during our time here, they play a role in this place, and without the wonderful job they do, it would be much less bearable being away from our families for these 14 weeks. So we wanted to make sure and leave a legacy of gratitude to all of those who have helped each and every one of us get to where we are today, no matter how small the role may have been. So that is why we decided to do that.
Well, from all of us here at KLETC, we thank you and all the members of the 277th Basic for your thoughtfulness, your generation. Our staff truly appreciates it. Thank you very much. Bo, it's my pleasure on behalf of the administration and the staff to present you with this plaque. It's an appreciation, a recognition of your efforts and your time being the 277th Basic Class President. I hope you'll display it proudly. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. At KLETC, we also recognize those officers who have excelled in various professional skill sets during their time here at KLETC. For the 277th, we'll start with fitness. Fitness being a key component in an officer's life. It helps them deal with the daily stress that they'll face and aids them in maintaining a healthier lifestyle, enabling them to mitigate the dangers that they may encounter. All the members of 277th during their time here at KLETC were active and engaged in fitness and defensive tactics, and maintaining a healthy fitness routine. Some of these student officers met the goals to be recognized as members of the 200-mile club. For a student officer to be recognized as a member, the officer must have completed 30 push-ups in a minute, 30 sit-ups in a minute, and run the mile and a half in 18 minutes or less. Additionally, they'll have to log 200-plus miles outside of their regular course activities. We have 3 officers who have completed these goals. When I call your name, please stand and be recognized. Officer Christopher Allison of the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Campus Police. Officer Jean Berlin from the Riley County Police Department. And Officer Spencer Kokanowski of the Salina Police Department. Congratulations and well done. You may be seated. We have one officer that not only has met those goals of the 200-mile club, he substantially exceeded them. Officer Spencer Kokanowski from the Salina Police Department. Please stand and join me at the podium. Spencer, for your exceptional hard work, the substantial number of miles that you've logged, in fact, over 241 miles, along with well exceeding the other physical requirements of the 200-mile club by achieving 47 push-ups in a minute, 39 sit-ups in a minute, and completing the mile and a half in just over 10 minutes. Officer Kokanowski, you've been and truly earned this fitness medal for your efforts. Please wear it and display it proudly. Congratulations. Next, this medal recognizes the firearms top shot from the 277th Basic Training Class. I'd like to ask Assistant Public Lands Manager, Officer Luke Burning from the Kansas Department of Wildlife, Parks, and Tourism to please stand and join me at the podium. Luke, you've showed great skill and proficiency during both the firearms qualification and during the tactical shooting drills. Shooting is truly a perishable skill and requires constant effort to maintain your abilities. You've shown how practice and your efforts have paid off. Well done. Luke, this medal represents you as the top shot for the 277th Basic Training Class. Congratulations. Well done. Now it's my pleasure to introduce to each of you today's commencement speaker, Chief Adam Weingartner, the Ottawa Police Department. Chief Weingartner is a strong supporter of the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center. He has a very distinguished career and is truly a good friend of mine. Chief Weingartner began his career with the Ottawa Police Department in November 1995. He served as a patrol officer for the next 10 years until 2005, when he was transferred to the detective unit. He was promoted to police sergeant in 2007 and returned to the patrol division, supervising a patrol shift. 2009, he was promoted to the rank of police lieutenant and was assigned as a patrol commander. In 2012, he again was promoted, this time to the rank of police captain, where he continued to serve the patrol division as the patrol commander. Then in December of 2016, he was promoted to the newly created position of assistant chief of police. In this new role, he supervised the agency's 3 division commanders who oversaw investigations, support services, and the patrol division. His additional duties included supervising the volunteers and police services, public information officer, and the Special Tactics and Rescue Team commander. In December of 2018, Assistant Chief Weingartner was appointed as the interim police chief, and ultimately, in June of 2019, he was promoted as the chief of police for the Ottawa Police Department. Chief Weingartner's agency has been accredited by the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies since 2015. During the chief's career, he was an active member of the Ottawa Police Department Special Tactics and Rescue Team, 1997 through 2018. In 2009 until 2018, he served as the Star Team Commander, responsible for all aspects of all tactical operations. Chief is also an instructor for the Citizens Response to an Active Shooter event and helps teach active shooter response training to local schools and businesses. He is a graduate of the 262nd session of the FBI National Academy. He also graduated the KCP and KLETC's Kansas Police Administrator Seminar. He holds an Associate Applied Science degree in Criminal Justice from the State University of New York, Canton, a certificate in Leadership Studies from Fort Hays State University, and a bachelor's degree in Criminal Justice from Central Christian College of Kansas. He is a graduate of Leadership Franklin County and served on the Board of Trustees from 2012 through 2015. He also serves as the Secretary-Treasurer for the Capital Area Major Case Squad. He's a member on the Board of Directors for COF Training Services, Inc., and a member of Prairie Paws Animal Shelter Operations Committee. His professional associations include the International Association of Chiefs of Police, the FBI National Academy Associates, the Kansas Association of Chiefs of Police, the Kansas Peace Officers Association, the FBI's Law Enforcement Executive Development Association, and the Ottawa Fraternal Order of Police, Lodge number 66. Chief Weingartner served our nation as a combat engineer in the U.S. Army, Fort Riley, Kansas. He completed his military service at the rank of sergeant. His awards include the U.S. Army Humanitarian Service Medal, the Good Conduct Medal, and he successfully completed Air Assault School. Originally from Greenfield Center, New York, Chief Weingartner has lived in Ottawa since 1995. He is married to Stacy, and they have 2 teenage sons. It's my honor to introduce you to my friend, Chief Adam Weingartner, as the 277th Basic Training Graduation Commencement Speaker. Chief.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center Executive Director Darren Beck, Deputy Executive Director Ron Gould, and the rest of the KLETC staff for the invitation to address the graduates of the 277th Basic Training Class of the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center. I would also like to welcome any elected officials joining us in person or online today and appreciate your strong support for Kansas law enforcement. I would also like to pass along my condolences to the family of former KLETC Director Larry Welch, who recently passed away. He is a legendary Kansas lawman who leaves a legacy of greatness for us all to strive for. To those joining us live on Facebook, thank you for attending. I know each of you wish you could be here to support your law enforcement officers today, and I know they wish you could be here too. Out of my wife and family in Ottawa and my mother watching on Facebook in South Carolina, I love you and I'll see you soon. Class 277, congratulations on reaching this career milestone, the first of many which you will achieve. You just completed 14 weeks of the most relevant, challenging, and professional training in law enforcement. Many of you will leave here today to begin field training where you'll be challenged even more. You enter your law enforcement career during challenging times, from a generational pandemic to a perceived loss of community trust. and perception can easily become reality. A career in law enforcement is not a sprint, it's a marathon. We need you now more than ever to be career law enforcement professionals. We need you today, we need you tomorrow, and we need you far into the future. Who among you will be the next detective, the next sergeant, the next chief or sheriff? You will be our future leaders. I challenge you to look that far in the future, to look past the mistakes made while learning in field training. And I promise, any one of us here today and in leadership has made many of those same mistakes and survived. It's all part of the learning process. Law enforcement officers are continual learners. You need to be a thinker, a critical thinker, and one that is open to change. Change in law enforcement is constant. And despite what you hear from those who do not embrace change and may say, well, that's always the way we've done it, I'm here to tell you that's not always necessarily true. Over time, change is inevitable. And in law enforcement, we must be adaptable to change. We must be adaptable to the changing community expectations and the expectations of our departments in policy and procedure. As you serve your communities, you will find yourself in circumstances that are tense, uncertain, and rapidly evolving. You likely learned a similar phrase during some of your use of force instruction. It applies to many different situations you'll find yourself in while serving as a law enforcement officer. In fact, your first solo traffic stop on your own will likely be tense for you. Many calls will feel tense as you start to put all of your training into practice. You will be uncertain in uncertain situations, and you will be asked to make rapid decisions in rapidly evolving incidents. This is why you must be a thinker before all else. Think about how you handle your calls before you go. Think about the route you will take, where you will park, how you will approach the door, where you will move to be safe, and on some days, where you're going to go for lunch, especially if you're a detective. You will do all of this much quicker than people who are not in law enforcement. Your decisions will be questioned, but your ethics can never be. Be honest in your mistakes and learn from them. People know you are human, and if you talk to them, they'll get a chance to see just that. Your use of force will be reviewed by your department and likely recorded and be online much sooner than anyone can know all of the facts. This can be scary. And it can make you question why you're in law enforcement. But you're not alone. Each law enforcement officer across this nation goes through this same sequence of decisions in every community, in every department, on every call, every single hour of the day. Have you ever flown across Kansas, looked out the window, and seen the patchwork of fields that seem to connect many miles across the skies and what that looks like? I view law enforcement across this great nation in a similar way. While we may all be a little bit different, we're all connected by a common bond. These bonds are strong and form the patchwork of fabric that connects us all in law enforcement to create the thin blue line across this whole country. Just think about that. We're all in law enforcement held together with a common purpose to protect and serve through dignity, respect, and compassion. And together, we're strong. Each of us in law enforcement has a responsibility to hold our part of the line through honesty, integrity, commitment, transparency, and a dedication to duty. The thin blue line will bend, the line will move, but it must not break. You now have part of the responsibility to hold that line, to be the protector. The protector is a statue here on the KLETC campus to symbolize the role of a law enforcement officer and to honor the dedication and selfless sacrifice each gives to this honorable profession to protect and serve. Part of protecting and serving means taking care of yourself. The sad reality in law enforcement is that we harm ourselves more than any other method that causes harm in law enforcement. You can greatly reduce this risk by doing these simple things. Wear your seatbelt and ballistic vest every shift. Take care of your heart. And And when you find yourself struggling, ask for help early. More officers die in the line of duty from suicide, car crashes, and heart attacks than all other methods combined. You have the control in all of those circumstances. To remain vigilant, you must train your body and mind to be physically and mentally fit. To remain fit is work that you have to put in for you, for your family, and for your coworkers during their time in need, where failure is not an option and where you must push yourself beyond boundaries you thought possible. I'm asking for your commitment to take care of your body and your mind. There is no stigma for seeking help. Those days are long gone and will never return. We have learned over time that a healthy mind is as important as physical strength. To keep our minds sharp requires us to process many of the evils seen by law enforcement officers. To do that, it's okay to talk to a professional, a coworker, a department peer support team member, a supervisor, a chief, a sheriff, or clergy. Professional law enforcement agencies offer these services, like EAP, for example, knowing how important your role is and how difficult it is to replace you. Like I said earlier in my speech, we need you here for the long haul, the marathon, not the sprint. Find a fitness training program that works for you. Keep your back, shoulders, and core strong, and that'll help reduce the wear and tear in your body from wearing duty gear. Be able to run. Be strong enough to drag an injured coworker or a child from a car crash. Train like your life depends on it, because one day it just might. Be tactfully and technically proficient in all aspects of your job, from de-escalation to firearms proficiency and everything in between. Unless you work in this profession, it is difficult to exactly explain why we do this job. But we do, and we love it. I hope each of you enjoys every day like I have. Like many of you, I cannot think of doing anything else. And while I may be in the last decade of my career, I am encouraged to know that you will follow and take the lead and do more and do better than I ever could. What an honor each of us has to work in this profession every day. I'll end with this. Embrace today, prepare for tomorrow, and Godspeed in the future. Thanks to you, thanks to your families, and your department for allowing you to protect and serve. Thank you.
Chief, on behalf of the 277th, the instructors and the staff here at KLETC, we thank you, and we hope that you'll accept this plaque as recognition of you being today's commencement speaker for the 277th Basic Training Class. Thank you again.
It's my honor. Thanks, Rob.
Now, as you all know here at KLETC, ethics are at the forefront of our training and our profession. The oath of ethics affirmation is a constant reminder of the importance of always doing the right thing. Throughout your time here at KLETC, we have discussed this in depth. The ultimate purpose of law enforcement is public service. When a law enforcement officer takes the oath of office, they assume great responsibilities. They have entered the position of being a role model, where they must always lead by example. They become enforcers of the law and protectors of our community. Because the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center believes the concepts and principles within the oath should be a dominating force in all officers' lives, I'll ask the class president, Joshua Westerfield, to lead the class with the oath of affirmation to the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics.
I serve.
277, be seated. In your certificate packet, you'll each be receiving a coin similar to this one. A challenge coin is something very few people know about, but to those who do, these coins are very symbolic and meaningful. They're given to someone as a reminder of them or to confirm membership in an organization or a group. In this case, these coins are recognizing you as graduates of the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center. I ask you to carry it with you as a reminder of the time you were here, the lessons you've learned, and the friendships you've all gained. On the back of this coin is the oath that each of you just recited. In carrying it with you, let it be a constant reminder to always do the right thing. I'll now introduce you to KLETC Associate Director Alvin Sowers. Mr. Sowers will be presenting the members of the 277th with their certificates. Class President Westerfield will now announce the names of the graduates of the 277th Basic Training Class.
Front row, please stand. Christopher Allison with the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Campus Police Department. Preston Barkdahl with the Newton Police Department. Gene Berlin with the Riley County Police Department. Luke Burning with the Kansas Department of Wildlife, Parks, and Tourism. Jonathan Berry with the Kansas City, Kansas Community College Campus Police Department. Michael Bibb with the Riley County Police Department. Christopher Bowman with the Woodson County Sheriff's Office. Caitlin Bruner with the Peabody Police Department. Front row, please return to your seats. Please be seated. Second row, please stand. Carla Burrell with the Geary County Sheriff's Office. Brandon Gaudia with the Riley County Police Department. Jacob Jordan with the Norton Police Department. Donald Joy with the Chanute Police Department. Spencer Kokanowski with the Salina Police Department. Matthew Coma with the Pittsburgh Police Department. Joseph Lambert with the Kansas Department of Wildlife, Parks, and Tourism. Herman Manning with the Anthony Police Department. Second row, please return to your seats. Please be seated. Third row, please stand. Austin McKeithen with the Topeka Public Schools Police Department. Adam Murley with the Liberal Police Department. Austin O'Callahan with the Hutchinson Police Department. Allison Rude with the Riley County Police Department. Austin Severe with the Coffeyville Police Department. Joseph Snooks with the Ottawa Police Department. Ethan Wells with the Osage County Sheriff's Office. Charles Wilson with the Washburn University Police Department.
Joshua Westerfield, the Kansas Department of Wildlife, Parks, and Tourism. Third row, please return to your seats. You may all be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you all for attending today's graduation. Graduates, once again, congratulations. It's been my honor and my pleasure to be part of your journey, to be your class coordinator, class mentor. I wish you nothing but success and true happiness in each of your lives. Associate Director Alvin Sowers will now deliver a few closing remarks and conclude today's ceremony by formally certifying the members of this graduating class as completing their training and the training requirements for certification as full-time law enforcement officers.
Class 277, I congratulate each and every one of you on your accomplishment today and ask you to please stand. On behalf of Director Beck, I hereby certify that each and every one of you have satisfactorily completed the requirements to be full-time law enforcement officers in the state of Kansas. And for the word you've been waiting 14 weeks for, class dismissed.